Real Madrid 1, Manchester City 2. But then again, there are still 5 minutes remaining. Is this the end for our beautiful Basque friend? Is this the last game for Xabi Alonso in charge for Los Blancos? Time will tell. But I'll tell you what, time is ticking. Not a lot of time left. Will we see the sacking of Xabi Alonso here on D-Spot tonight? Drop your comments in the comment section. I want to know. Will he make it till Christmas? Will he make it to the end of the evening before midnight? We are bound to find out. Stick around. This spot is coming your way. Are you ready? Are you ready? We're blowing up the spine. Welcome to D-Spot, a live reaction video for that AL. Welcome to this live stream. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. If you love your Barça news, if you love your Barça community, yes, this is the place to be, okay? Today, covering our oldest rivals, the arch enemies, the Whites, Los Blancos, aka the Whites. We are gonna get into the thick of things, folks. Is another frustrating night for the Whites, as so it seems, as they are losing first hand against Pep Guardiola's Manchester City. Doku getting a much deserved rest as Ake is coming in, the Dutchman, my paisan. And what a game he has had, eh? Doku probably will get the man of the match, I would say. And he has severely impressed me today. I want to know from all of y'all's, how do you feel about this game? How do you feel about Xabi Alonso's future? Are we going to see the end of Xabi Alonso at the helm of the Blanco dugout? Is this the end? The rumor has it that he will not make it to the end of this week. Of course, after this embarrassing loss over the weekend against a fine footballing Celta de Vigo, the Madridistas were up in arms. They couldn't believe what they were seeing. They were promised paradise at the beginning of the season, but after a stern warning, 1 or 2, after QSG debacle in the Club World Cup, and then the Madrileño derby against Atlético de Madrid also, they got served 5. Well, the Clásicos seem to have turned things around, and I will say, I'll be the first one to say that that was a good dose of humility and humbleness and reality at that time for culés as well, to see the improvement that we had to do. But that's neither here nor then. Well, it was then. It was just over a month ago, wasn't it? When they were then leading the league, LaLiga, with 5 points. Now, trailing 4 after our boys, Los Blaugrana, picked up another win, a good one at that, and amplified the pressure for the Whites as they took on Celta de Vigo at the Santiago Bernabeu, and they played beautifully. This Celta side that, yes, might be a mid-table tier team, but they can certainly play some fine football. And after, again, Xabi Alonso got some breathing room and won himself a little bit of time after a good victory in the Catedral over against Athletic Club over in San Mamés. It didn't last very long, that relief, that joy, as, like I said, Celta put 2 beautiful goals, wonderful goals, fantastic goals, marvelous goals, stunning goals, absolute crackers, making even the great Thibaut Courtois look small. If it wasn't for Thibaut Courtois today, Real Madrid would have certainly been enjoying a heavier defeat instead of having to overcome a deficit of just one goal at the moment. Like I said, the game is still underway. We are here because I'm somewhat back to my old self. I have been hugely under the weather, and I wanted to come to my community, to my most loyal, with this live stream in a sign of, hey, I'm still here. Sorry for having been absent, but as you can probably still hear from my voice, it ain't all too kosher, health-wise. But we're getting better, and I wanted to muster up the courage, the energy to come here and enjoy these last minutes of maybe Xabi Alonso's reign at the helm of the Real Madrid dugout. We will see. I don't want to get too ahead of myself. Like I said, these are the rumors currently. Oh. I have to say, Real Madrid, if they walk away with a draw, it's not completely unfair. City have been the better team, but Madrid have been in it all the way through. Oh, down. Another shot. Tchouameni blocks it. So, like I said, so far I've put up a poll. So far it's 50-50. Yes, no. Will Xabi get sacked? Thank you guys all for joining the stream. And again, thank you to all of you that have been joining this community. There's still humble, small community of Barça fans internationally or here in the lovely city of Barcelona or country of Spain. You guys are all welcome, and we are growing. It's exciting. We're smashed through it wasn't long ago when I was doing a stream to see if we could crack the 2,000 subs. We've been cracking the 3,000, and there ain't no stopping. I'm still popping. Dre got some brrr from the city of content to serve me. Not with a cherry on top, because when I bust my I'm raising a pot to cup. Don't get upset, Dukes. It's just how it goes. I don't love the All right. After all that gibberish, 30 seconds and a minute. Minute and a half remains. Xabi Alonso is looking nervous, walking up and down the touchline. Mind you, I don't wish him any harm. I don't wish him anything bad to the Basque manager. Quite the opposite. Right now, I would say keep him in charge. And that's not just out of spite, out of silliness. A Xabi quédate, if you will. But quite frankly, I don't wish him any ill. In the end, he's a pupil, he's a student of Pep Guardiola. Not that he was his only influence. Of course, he learned from Ancelotti, Mourinho, and some great managers along the way. But it's good for Spanish football as well. And even if it's indirect, of course, I'm going to have my pleasure if he does get the sack here tonight. And I'm gonna take the Mickey. That's what I was trying to look for. Just given the current state of shambles that Real Madrid is in. But it's not for Xavi personally. It's mainly just for on an institutional level and a fan level as well. Anyways, I want to know from you guys, will he stay along? Will he make it till the end of the night? Or will he make it until Christmas? This game has ended. It is done and dusted. It is official, folks. We have a winner. Pep Guardiola wins on the night. And that is actually not fully in Barça's interest when it comes to the rankings of the Champions League table. However, it is, of course, to the sheer delight and joy of us culés to see the Huads choke once more. Second one in a row. Drop your comments in the comment sections. We're going to play this intro one more time for anybody that is new on the stream. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to this live episode, a live stream of D-Spot, as we are going to pay very close attention to the post-game, to the aftermath, to the effects, the ramifications, the consequences of another loss for Xabi Alonso's side, losing 2-1 on the evening against Pep Guardiola's Manchester City in the Champions League. Stick around. Things are bound to get juicy. Let's go. Drop your comments. Are you ready? Yes, are you ready? Spark. We're just blowing up the spot. How do you like that? How do you like the little, I'm getting nifty. I'm getting nice with it. I'm getting nice with the OBS. Got the intro, music, the jingle, the little video clip as the poll is already heating up. We've got 67% of you think that yes, indeed, he will get sacked before Christmas. And 33% of you currently opt for a no, he will not get sacked. Does that mean he gets sacked tonight? Does it mean he will live to fight another day in 2026? Well done, Man City, because I'm going to be honest right here as these reactions are hot off the press. And, well, I'm giving it to you raw as I feel them, as they come to me, because 90 minutes in the Bernabeu were molto longo. I felt at the beginning. I thought it was going to be a Real Madrid win. The Whites came out guns blazing. They had very good chances in the beginning. They had the intensity. Rodrigo scored a fantastic goal. And quite frankly, it could have been, they were, I think it's fair to say, not clear-cut chances. City in overall, and I'm going to have a look at the stats now, even though you see them here on your screens. I haven't really updated it from SofaScore. For sure, we're going to see that City had the better chances, the more shots on goal. I don't doubt that. Let me have a look here. Look at that. Even Madrid winning the possession in the end. It wasn't like that at the end of the first half, that's for sure. Let me have a quick look here. If I can, here we go. At the end of the first half here, it was 58 nearly. Yeah, what is that? 56, sorry. Oh, my glasses. What is it? What does that say? 56, say. Let me see. Let me get this here. Let me get this action going. Let me do some of that. Let me look real boomer now for a minute. 56%. Well, it was more possession. That was quite palpable. Look at the XG as well. 1.94 for City. In comparison, just 0.24. And here we go. Clear shots, clear chances. 3 for City. 6 shots in total. Stops. Courtois, a handful, or nearly a handful. 3 stops. Again, I felt that Madrid had the momentum. They had the Bernabeu factor, which was, again, very noticeable. I wasn't in the stadium, but I'm going to ask Kian surely what the atmosphere in those early minutes were like. Let's have a listen to what Rodrigo has to say in the meantime. And I'm going to translate on the spot. Hay que mejorar. We have to improve. There was a point of inflection in the game. Details define the game. Big stops. They were left frustrated. They train hard. They're sad. They're going to continue. How important was it for you to score a goal? Like I said, great goal. I think the last time was like March last year. Anyway, he's talking about his personal situation. That's less interesting to me, even though, of course, let's not forget that he's a player that wanted out at the end of last season. He wants to get back to his best and help the team. Oh, the abrazo with Xabi Alonso. He's probably saying, Mister, I wish you well because you ain't going to be around come the weekend anymore. Let me know. Keep voting. 80% of you right now are saying yes, he will get sacked before Christmas. Will he get sacked tonight? Will he get sacked tonight? Drop your comments in the comment section. I want to know. I want to hear from you. I want to talk to y'all. And I don't, like I said, the rumor here in Spain, it was running wild that he was going to get the sack tonight. Tonight, there'll be a loss and he will get a sack. What about tonight? Will Xabi get sacked? So, like, I do have to say, I felt it was a little bit harsh when I was on Twitter. Excuse me, let me give you context. And the Madridistas were very merciless. Again, generally speaking, here, demanding the head of Xabi Alonso based on the first half performance. That seemed harsh to me, to demand the head of your coach. You can, mind you, let me double check here, but at the half, I think, no, that was already 2-1. Of course. The 2-1 was scored right before it was the penalty, yes. But to already be so adamant about sacking Xabi Alonso, I think it's premature. I do think it's premature. I also think it's inevitable given how the club is run, given who is in charge, given the rumors, really, that we're hearing, that it is game, set, and match. It is over for Xabi Alonso. Question is, will we see it tonight? Will we see it later, come, say, Christmas time? Will he live to fight another day for the weekend? I think Sevilla's coming up next. And again, this for a side that Kian said was going to win every single match from here on until the end of the year. And when I say here on, it was quite literally after the Athletic Club game. And I said Celta's up next. Oh no, it was right before, I have to say. It was Athletic Club, which was obviously a win. Celta de Vigo, a loss. Now a loss against Manchester City. Alaves up next. Tough opponent for Barça, against who we managed to pick up a win, albeit an unconvincing one. Let me turn off the volume here for now. And and that one is away, of course. Then it's Copa del Rey, round of 32, Talavera. Well, you would hope that is somewhat of a cakewalk and at least a W before they will host Sevilla at the Santiago Bernabeu. The most beautiful render in the history of renovated stadiums. And then it's opening the year before Reyes against Real Betis. Will he make it to that, or will Sevilla, Talavera, Alaves, or maybe tonight City see Xabi Alonso's reign come to an end? I'm curious. I'm expecting anything. I'm gonna be on the lookout for any of the news that we can possibly get our ears to, hands to, and I'm going to share it right here on the stream. We're going to listen to his press conference, of course, as well. I'll give you live translations on the go, on the trot. And let me get to your questions, or let me get to your comments. I have been asking some of y'all's. Kin Isaac saying, we have no midfield, not Xabi, not about Xabi, defense, attack. I mean, when you say you don't have a midfield, if you mean you don't have Modric or Toni Kroos, I would agree. But I was supposed to believe that Jude Bellingham was the second coming of reincarnation of Zizou mixed with Johan Cruyff, Beckenbauer. He could do everything offensively in the midfield, on the defense as well. So where has the big Jude been? And then I was told that Arda Güler was the greatest offensive playmaker in the game currently. It's funny how quickly these narratives change, man. It's funny how quickly narratives change. I think it's all a bit too preemptive. I really do. But I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying, obviously, the chaos and everything that's coming with this drama, this collapse, this crisis within the White House, letting the Whites run around like a bunch of headless chickens and being, again, in my opinion, somewhat overly critical. I don't think it's a coach's problem. I think it's a player and an attitude problem. I think it's a entitlement problem. I think it's players that are not respecting the authority of their manager and le están haciendo la cama. That's what I think. They're making his bed and they're saying, go and sleep in it. But it's not going to be in Valdebebas. You're going back home. A ver, let's see what they have to, or let's listen rather, what they have to say here on Movistar. And I will give you guys updates. And Rudiger, what a silly foul. There's a few things I enjoy more in football than seeing Rudiger, players like him, get served a hot plate of justice. Ancor is saying a neutral game state is the one Madrid hates the most. You know what? I kind of felt like this was Ancelotti-esque, the way we saw Real Madrid play. I didn't think that it was very emotional, but it wasn't great football, right? But I did feel like we could see in the beginning there, Pep Guardiola shit the bed because of the mystical, ¿cómo se dice? Bernabeu aura and factor that seemed to, that at least that allowed Real Madrid get the lead, and deservedly so. Before, I guess, they gassed out, and, you know, Pep's kind of more conservative approach also allowed him to hold on to the lead in the second half and kill the game off. I was very impressed with Doku. I don't know who won man of the match, but I would imagine he would, because neither Foden or, you know, Bernardo Silva or Haaland were particularly amazing today. Definitely not Haaland, man. I have yet to see Haaland play a game where I'm like, oh my God, this guy's next level type shit. I haven't seen it, but then again, I don't follow City on a weekly basis. So, sorry, Ancor, you're saying they managed to, they can't manage any sort of game state, either through a collective idea of Xavi's or through an individual like Kroos in the past. I mean, you bring up a good point, Ancor, and that is, what does Xabi Alonso actually want? How does he actually want to play? I think we got glimpses of it earlier on in the season. I think Clásico was a good example of how they can press, how aggressive they can be, and how effective and efficient in front of goal, and when they are actually all plugged in, similar to today, I mean, quite frankly. But they then lose it, right? They then kind of lose the faith, the rhythm, the intensity, and it just fizzles out. And a team like City tonight were perfectly capable of withstanding, let's say, their press and their aggression, and instead counter that with very sober football and convincing and mature take on football as well. Asensio is in the flash behind the hot mic. Let's have a listen.
O al final lo que todo el mundo quiere ver, un cambio, ¿no? Que el otro día también creo que lo comentaba nuestro compañero Brelier en rueda de prensa antes del partido, que la actitud es lo principal de cambiar, y bueno, creo que hoy se ha visto un cambio.
Cuéntame un poco cómo ha sido la jugada donde reclamas un agarrón.
Asensio basically saying what I was saying, the attitude that we saw in the beginning of the game, the attitude that we saw in the Clásico. He's saying that was their principle, that was their main focus of switching that chip today, and that's what we saw. And we did for moments, and in the second half as well. This game could have finished 2-2, quite frankly. This game, in all honesty, could have finished 2-2.
Son decisiones arbitrales, no podemos centrarnos en eso, debemos centrarnos en el fútbol. Al final son cosas que eso no depende de nosotros, depende del árbitro, y algunas veces caerá del lado del rival, otras veces caerá de nuestro lado, pero nosotros nos tenemos que centrar en lo nuestro y en nada más.
Man,
Muchas gracias.
you cannot compare the rugby tackle with two hands. Rudiger committed a clear penalty. Asensio, I'm now seeing this tackle that they're trying to claim that Madrid should have gone on a penalty. It's the one-handed. He's tugging on to him, holding on to him with one hand. You see those 20 times. Let's have a look at the other results as well, because Athletic Club managed to hold QSG to a 0-0. So that's, I think that still allows them to have a chance to make it to the playoffs or the knockout phase. As Ankur, you're saying, yeah, did you see them not playing for Xabi? I didn't. However, is that enough for Xabi to keep his job? Yes, I think I don't know if they played for Xabi. I think they played for pride. I think they, again, showed and displayed a willingness to grind out a result, but the lack of conviction in what Xabi wants and how he wants to play the game, that's still very evident. It's not a good footballing side, that's for sure. I guess Marcelino is in a hot seat. Villarreal suffering another loss or an adverse result. Morientes, not happy with the result. Intensity, I mean, again, everybody's going to say the same. Intensity was there in the first 15 minutes. Daño a la defensa, que probablemente sea uno de los déficits de este City de Guardiola. Y lo ha conseguido por momentos. Después ha habido momentos que ha intentado atacar y el partido se ha abierto, y ahí es donde el equipo de Guardiola se siente también cómodo. Y en la segunda parte, pues con corazón, a veces con corazón. Guardiola seemed to feel comfortable. Pero no ha terminado de encontrar ese empate que sí que lo ha buscado. Me ha gustado mucho Rodrigo hoy. Rodrigo, obviously, one of the more positive notes for Madrid tonight. But yeah, the draw was there. The draw was there. Alright, I don't need to hear from Valverde, with all respect. I want to hear from you guys. What do you think? So do I think that he will survive the night, Xabi Alonso? I think so. I don't think I think him getting the sack after performance that we saw tonight, again, is harsh. That is my true feeling. I don't know if he will make it for Christmas. I think this buys him enough time to make it through Alaves, to play the Copa del Rey game, and to face Sevilla at home. If the bad results continue, then that is the end, my beautiful Basque friend. That's what I truly feel. I don't think that we are going to see a Xabi Alonso get the sack tonight. Even merciless, ruthless Florentino Perez surely doesn't have it in him to sack him tonight after what was a half-decent performance, despite the obvious, again, bad result, to say, you know, that is it. We need to now put Arbeloa as our man in the dugout to lead these guys to better results. I don't think so. Not yet. Not yet. Ankur is saying, it seemed even last season sacrifices needed to be made for Real Madrid. I feel like any other team is enough just to field your best player. Sorry, for Real Madrid, I feel like any other team is enough just to field your best players. Why is that a question? Endrick's box presence for immediate. Why not play him more? Well, he got in there in the end, no? I don't think Enrique is just very good, man. I really don't. I think if he's not playing under Xabi Alonso after not playing for Carlo neither, he's look at Victor Roque, man. These guys are young, inexperienced in amazing or top quality leagues. And I mean, you had Gonzalo. That's why I just wanted to check. Yeah, Gonzalo was starting today. So he was supposed to be the man, right? The top goal scorer in the Club World Cup. He got a start tonight. obviously Mbappe was out, so that was a big setback. And you could ask yourself what would have been tonight if Mbappe had played, your best player, along with Thibaut Courtois, also your best player. They go hand in hand, I think. But you know, he was a no-show, Gonzalo. I thought Vinny had moments, forced that foul that initially had my heart kind of in pounding an extra beat, skip a beat, I should say, because I thought it was going to be called a penalty. Luckily, it was just outside. Jude had that chance, of course, that chip that he absolutely fucked up as well. JB, the Wiki man. And Tchouaméni had a shot. He had a decent effort, half-decent effort. But there's no doubt that Rodrigo, it was his game tonight. With that great goal, great attitude. As I see that, yes, indeed, they lost 3-2 against Copenhagen. Barça need to play there as well. Wow, Copenhagen winning 3-2 in the Villamarín, in the Yellow Submarine, against a very good Villarreal side who in Europe is just shitting the bed, man. Oh my God. How much? What is happening? Marcelino. That is a shame. I don't like seeing that. Qué pena. Let's have a listen. I want to hear what Courtois has to say. Always a man with some interesting statements. Let's listen.
Pero después de un arranque bueno y un final bueno, no ha sido suficiente, Thibaut. Buenas noches.
Not enough, Thibaut.
Buenas noches. Sí, yo creo que jugamos un buen partido, que todo salió bien. Metemos el 1-0. Y claro, luego el 1-1 es obviamente poco fallo mío, que el balón me venía muy encima y no sabía cómo despejarla mejor.
The equalizer was his fault.
Cuando el momento está un poco en contra, pues esos balones en vez de ir a un compañero te va a un rival y claro, meten el 1-1, cogen un poco de confianza. Luego creo que un penalti que
not working out for them in these kind of plays.
Al igual yo creo que había un empujón a Rudiger en el primer gol. Así que nada, yo creo que al final es un poco
crying here a little bit.
Estamos. Yo creo que la segunda parte ellos
there were also pulls against Rudiger.
A partir del minuto 60-65 hemos cogido el partido en nuestras manos y tuvimos para empatar y bueno, como has dicho, la situación está un poco así que no quiso entrar y pierde un partido que creo que
¿Tanto daño se hace ese gol, el primero? Porque es verdad que tú dices, ellos ganan en confianza y da la sensación
que vosotros también la perdéis,
un poco hasta
no es noche de despido.
Otra vez con este arreglo podéis empatar.
That's it, he's safe.
Bueno, no sé si perdimos confianza.
No es una noche de despido. He's not going to get the sack today.
Tonto, digamos, y de un balón parado. Y el otro penalti que creo que viene muy rápido después. Entonces
Florentino put in the call. Said, hey, I'm not going to do it tonight.
Yo creo que ellos salieron un poco mejor en la segunda parte. Pero bueno, después yo creo que hemos tenido para empatar.
Y vosotros no sois ajenos a lo que pasa y a lo que se dice fuera en los medios de comunicación, evidentemente, y sabíais o entendíais que esto se hablaba desde fuera como un examen para Xabi Alonso.
Bueno, nosotros no lo vemos así. Al final nosotros queremos ganar nuestros partidos porque sabemos la situación que estamos, que al final hemos perdido demasiados puntos en Liga.
Fighting for Xabi Alonso, he's saying we didn't see it like that, we just want to win.
Claro, hoy no podemos perder para el top 8. Yo creo que hemos demostrado que estamos detrás del míster también, que hemos jugado bien, hemos dado el 100% y creo que eso se ha visto en el campo. Por lo menos es la sensación que yo tengo desde el campo, que hemos dado todo, que hemos jugado un buen partido y que no ha podido ser.
Entonces, esta situación, porque tú lo dices, lo habéis dado todo, en intensidad, en entrega, no se le puede reprochar nada. ¿Cómo se revierte esta
situación? Was there. How do you turn things around?
Yo creo que eso, lo único es ganar
by winning.
Y seguir con la misma intensidad que hicimos hoy. Yo creo que
continue with this kind of intensity.
Porque obviamente ganamos en Bilbao también con un partido completo como hoy.
In Bilbao we played a complete game like today, but we won.
Si salimos igual como hoy y como contra Athletic Club, pues al final vas a ganar en un campo difícil like que es el Alavés, que al final no es fácil ir a jugar ahí, pero bueno, tenemos que ganar
against Athletic Club. We can win against Alaves, which will be
Sevilla en casa, cerrar bien el año,
a tough game, then the Copa, and then Sevilla at home, which will be a tough game. No big remarks, but
con la intensidad, como hemos
like I said, we're seeing here already. It's funny, right? I had the intuition. I had the feeling. Ich spür's gewoon. Ich spür's gewoon. Gewöhnlich. This is not a night where he's going to get the sack.
18 puntos de 18 posibles para el equipo de Mikel Arteta, que lidera la Premier League, cada día más cerquita al Manchester
Arteta
City, la sigue liderando, y que lidera esta
leading the Champions League. Let me have a look. Another win for Arsenal. Another win for Arteta. Ooh, 3-0 against Brujas. Only 3 goals? Man, we scored. Ours was a 6-goal fest. You know what I'm saying? We like to make it attractive. Benfica beating Nápoles. Well, listen to this. Today, Pep Guardiola, besides beating Man City, has also become the coach. He's made history. He's become the coach who was beaten Real Madrid at the Santiago Bernabeu the most amount of times, 7. He gets a lot of hate, but like Jorge Valdano said, his enemies are Spanish and Madridistas. In the rest of the world, the man is idolized and loved and admired. Pep has won 14 of his 28 games against Real Madrid in all competitions. He's drawn 7 and lost 7. And then, isn't that interesting? Because the narrative is very much that Pep Guardiola always loses in the Santiago Bernabeu. That's what made me down, for crying out loud. Like when they went up, the Whites went up 1 goal to 0. I was like, oh my God. Piggity Pep is gonna. Okay, let's hear the man of the hour, Xabi Alonso.
Hoy no se le puede reprochar nada ni al técnico ni a los jugadores. ¿Coincides o tú te
Valdano
reprochas algo personalmente?
We can't say anything bad about the coach or the players. Do you agree?
Lo hemos intentado hasta el final.
We tried until the end.
Muy bien el partido.
We started the game well.
Por delante.
He knows he's not getting
Pero hay
sacked.
momentos en los que
We were winning. He's too confident.
Golpe te hace más daño y así ha sido, ¿no? En 10 minutos
He said we
nos han
received
puesto con un córner,
a tough
con un
blow that
penalti,
hurt a lot.
se han puesto por delante cuando el partido estaba siendo un partido serio, un partido competido.
With a penalty
pero
they
hemos
were
concedido,
winning.
no hemos
They got
controlado bien
confident.
esas situaciones. Y luego el equipo lo ha intentado.
We controlled still the situation very well. We tried
pero lo
them.
hemos intentado hasta el final. Hemos tenido
We tried
ocasiones.
until the end. We had our
para poder meter algún
chances.
gol y hoy no tengo nada que reprochar a nadie.
We didn't score the goal, but I have nothing bad to say about my players.
El gol del empate del City. ¿Tanto daño, tanta merma en la confianza os hace un gol?
Yo, cuando estás en un momento delicado,
You said, did it hurt that much receiving that goal against City?
Donde venimos,
You said,
las
given the situation that we're in,
en este momento, pues
given our
te
injuries,
ves un poco menos sólido, ¿no? Y
you're a
por eso, pues,
bit
igual
less solid, I guess.
le han dado la vuelta demasiado rápido en estos momentos.
They turned the game around quickly.
Rival top, pues sabes que tienes que estar compitiendo y conceder muy poco. Hemos concedido muy poco, pero suficiente para que le den la vuelta. Y luego también, pues eso, que
You can't give anything away.
no se dan, pues tienes ocasiones en la segunda parte.
We had chances in the
Alguna
second
para
half.
poder marcar y no lo hemos conseguido.
30 minutos muy buenos en la primera parte, también ese reón final. Ha habido, es verdad, fases en la segunda parte donde el público ha pitado al equipo. ¿Entiendes un poco esa reacción del aficionado?
Sí, ha habido momentos de todo, y ha habido momentos en los que ha aplaudido y ha empujado bien, ¿no? Hasta el final lo hemos
I guess the
intentado
audience
y
was
no
nervous.
estamos
Do you understand the
contentos
reaction?
con la racha de resultados que tenemos. Pero hoy, sinceramente, yo no tengo nada que reprochar nunca a la gente, a la
I got
afición,
nothing to say,
porque ellos
bad to say.
han visto
about
mucho
the team.
y saben mucho de esto, y a los jugadores hoy tampoco.
Un poco de las jugadas, no sé si te ha dado tiempo a ver alguna repetida, ese penalti de Rüdiger, uno que reclamaba posible para Asencio. Hablabas con Clement Turpin en el descanso.
Bueno, pues acciones que ves, ¿no? En el primer gol le están agarrando un poco a Tibú, bueno, pues lances que pues por mi lado lo interpreto de diferente manera, el árbitro lo ha visto así y
If
ha
he
sido
agrees with the
decisivo,
penalty,
¿no?
I guess. I wasn't
no lo
listening.
podía
I'm
ver,
trying to read stuff at the same
¿Cuánto agradeces
time.
el abrazo de Rodrigo, aparte del gol, evidentemente?
Do you appreciate Rodrigo's
Pues me alegro
hug?
mucho por él, porque
I'm happy for
venía de un momento complicado también, en los que no había jugado tanto, y hoy ha sido un gran Rodrigo. Ha jugado muy bien,
Yeah.
ha sido desequilibrante, ha marcado ese gol que es muy importante para él, y entonces es una de las mejores noticias de hoy. que hayamos podido ver a Rodri y luego pues la cercanía de la gente, del equipo, eso está ahí y juntos es como podremos darle la vuelta y hay que...
You felt the crowd was with him or Rodri.
Tranquilo. ¿Ahora estás preocupado por tu futuro a corto plazo?
You worried about your
Estoy
future?
preocupado por el siguiente partido. Aquí
I'm worried about the
importante
next
es el Real
game.
Madrid. Es el equipo, son los
This
jugadores
is
que
Real
lo pueden
Madrid.
ayudar y no va de mí el tema.
It doesn't depend on me.
Palabras, ya lo habéis escuchado del
It's not- it
técnico
shouldn't be
del Real
about me,
Madrid,
I guess
Susana,
he's saying.
explicando lo que ha visto y lo que ha sido para él este partido aquí frente al City.
El Madrid tiene mucho margen de mejora, puede estar en manos de Xabi Alonso. Cambiar de entrenador ahora es un marrón.
No
You're
hay
talking about
motivos
changing
suficientes como
coach
para
now.
cambiar de entrenador.
Moriente
Las temporadas
saying
son muy largas.
there's no reason why they
y
should.
tenemos muchísima visión histórica de lo que va pasando en este tipo de momentos en las temporadas,
There's a lot
donde
of
lo decía Javi, hace un
historical
momento, equipos que han
references
empezado muy mal en la Champions de repente
about
se
games,
levantan,
teams that
estos
start
son
badly,
5 meses todavía de competición,
but then
y el
have
equipo
still
es verdad que no
5
atraviesa un buen
months
momento
of
de juego,
competition left to play
las
and turn things
circunstancias hacen que
around.
los pequeños
I've
detalles,
seen
pues,
that as
caigan
well
ahora
with
mismo del
Madrid.
lado, del equipo
The
rival,
Giants.
como han sido estas dos pequeñas acciones que han hecho que el City diese la vuelta al marcador, pero yo creo que es muy pronto para hablar de
Moriente saying it's too early to
circunstancias,
talk
también
about
entendiendo que en el Real Madrid todo se magnifica
change
de tal manera
in
que
coach.
cuando hay 3 empates contra equipos que pueden ser ganables, una derrota en tu campo contra el Celta de Vigo, viniendo de un buen partido contra el Athletic Club, pues es lógico que mucha gente pues
But he understands as
no
well
tenga
the
esa
pressure.
calma o esa tranquilidad que necesita el momento, ¿no? Yo creo que todavía
And the
hay
team needs
mucha tela que cortar
calm,
y lo que queremos ver
some
es
tranquilidad, some
esa
peace and calm,
maduración del equipo de
and
Xabi
allow the,
Alonso y que él
the
sea
team of
el
Xabi Alonso to
capitán de este barco
mature.
hasta el final.
Vamos a ver cómo ha reaccionado el Santiago
Let's
Bernabéu
see.
después de esta
Now we're going to
derrota.
hear from the Santiago Bernabéu after the loss. Whistles from the Giants. So they were not happy.
Muchos pitos que se han ido escuchando también
Whistles and whistles.
a lo largo del partido. A los
Whistles that we heard
jugadores,
throughout the
a
game
Xavi,
as well.
A todos, ¿qué creéis?
Es un público que, como dijo Xavi, está muy acostumbrado a la excelencia y a los buenos resultados. Cuando el equipo
Valdano
no
saying
consigue ninguna de las dos
that they are
cosas,
a
se
team
rebota con una
or
cierta
fans that are
facilidad.
used to excellence,
No me parece que sea el mejor camino, o sea, la
but
afición
that
tiene que
the change of a coach is not
a los
the right
jugadores,
way,
tiene
the
que
right
respaldar al
direction.
equipo precisamente en los momentos en donde las cosas no funcionan, no es lo que necesita en este momento el
Right now,
equipo
it's not
para
what they need.
recuperarse de los golpes que está sufriendo.
They need to get over
Yo creo que
the tough
pitar a la gente de
blow
casa yo es algo que nunca he entendido, pero es verdad que los equipos
of back-to-back
como
losses.
el Madrid, la exigencia es máxima, pero yo no sé si la pitada es por haber perdido hoy.
He's like, I'm not sure if the
Realmente,
whistles
como
are
decirles,
for the
¿por
loss
qué no lo hacéis otros días?
or
La
for
actitud, ¿no? Seguramente
blaming the
irá por ahí,
players for not
tampoco que
always
haya
playing
sido
with that
una gran
intensity.
pitada, ¿no? Como ha pasado en otras ocasiones.
Eso es más que nada un malestar, ¿no?
Sí.
Malestar con la situación que se está viviendo
It's more
hasta este momento.
an expressing of
y es una manera de
general malestar,
autoexigir
just
un
not
poco
being
más al
comfortable
equipo,
and
en
annoyed
este
with the
final
current situation.
de temporada, en lo que va
Is what Morientes is saying.
estos 2 últimos partidos que quedan de liga, y alimentar un poco ese ego que tiene en este final de temporada, el salir a relucir.
Vamos a palparlo
I
también
don't know
a
why
pie
I
de
can't
calle. Hemos preguntado a algunos
see the
madridistas a la
goddamn
salida del
images.
estadio. ¿Están con Xavi?
El Bernabéu hoy ha espabilado un poco con los pitos y demás, pero yo creo que esto empieza con algunos
You
de
see, I
otros
told
jugadores
you,
fuera. 3 o
like the
4
narrative
jugadores
is
más
really
yo
there.
Si hay que
They would
mandar
have
fuera a
never
uno,
gone
Vinicius
out
no
to
está
the
haciendo
street to
buena
ask
temporada.
this.
Hoy, por ejemplo, salva a Rodrigo, pero también es verdad, lleva una
Florentino
temporada
Pérez
malísima.
wants
Y a
to
Valverde
get
también, porque
a
Valverde,
gist
si no quiere jugar de
of what
lateral
his
derecho cuando el equipo
people,
lo necesita, pues fuera también. Yo
his
estoy con Xabi
minions
Alonso hasta el final.
are
Será
feeling and
fichado
wanting
para que
tonight.
sea el entrenador hasta final de temporada.
It's
Es una
clear.
leyenda del
The
club y hay
journalists
que darle oportunidad a Xabi Alonso este año.
and
Esto se le queda muy grande.
ex-players, big heavy
El escudo
presence
para Xavi, no. A Xavi mañana mismo.
don't want him to leave.
Xabi Alonso no tiene culpa. Yo estoy con Xabi Alonso. 100%.
One saying that he should be out, that Madrid is too
Está
much.
perdidísimo.
Pues creo que es más de los jugadores. Les falta
Others
correr,
saying
les
that
falta jugar
they're
con
with
ganas,
him.
con hambre de gol, con ganas de ganar, con
Others
ser el
saying
Real
this
Madrid,
lady that
el que es el
it's
rey
the
de
players.
Europa. Eso es lo que les hace falta.
No corre lo que tienen que correr.
They're not running enough, blaming the players.
No corre lo que tiene que correr. Les falta fuerza.
A algunos le falta a Xavi, pero la mayoría no es habitual, que quieran que la mitad de la plantilla esté fuera.
Bueno, el fútbol
Normalmente
So
siempre
most
es el entrenador,
fans,
es democrático.
blaming the
Cada
players.
uno brinda su opinión y que creo que es lo más
Democrático.
sano que tiene. Es
Real
verdad que
Madrid,
están
far from being a
con bronca los hinchas
democratic
del Real Madrid, las hinchas.
Maybe the fans can express themselves
Desde
freely.
afuera, ¿no? Y al no haber jugado en el Real Madrid, creo que hasta ahora no los ha convencido
It's not gonna
el
happen.
sistema de Xabi Alonso durante
Let's see what
varios partidos
the newspaper
consecutivos. Y en eso no es
has to say.
solo Xabi Alonso, es el equipo
Más
en sí.
ganas que
Y ahí tiene que ver
suerte.
la entrega y el
It
compromiso
was
y la
more
solidaridad.
willingness
Me
than
imagino
luck.
que estará
Let's say ganas,
preocupado
like
Guardiola por su
willingness.
primer tiempo y muy contento Giralde después de lo que hizo en el Bernabéu. Y ahí vemos la
And Mbappé,
inestabilidad del Real Madrid en
Madrid,
los últimos tiempos.
without
Creo que
Mbappé,
tiene que mejorar en esa
better
constancia, en ese
improve
compromiso
their play
de sus
and
jugadores para
attitude,
defender y después atacar
but
y buscar su
not
mejor
enough
versión.
to
Coincido con que
beat
Vinicius no está
City.
en el auge de su carrera.
And also saying that the post prevented a draw. Let's listen to Pep Guardiola.
Eso es, Susana, aquí estamos con Pep Guardiola. Después de la victoria del Manchester City frente al Real Madrid, ¿qué tal? Buenas noches, enhorabuena.
Qualifying the top 8.
Jugador del Madrid, ese gol, el gol del empate es un punto de
Intensity.
mucho más rápido. Si lo ganas puedes correr tú, si no tienen ellos.
You're saying, yeah, when you have the ball, you try to run, but they also
No es que corras, que se la quedan, saben driblar. Rodrigo
had the ball a lot. They know how to dribble. Rodrigo is fantastic.
Qué bueno que es.
Rodrigo's so good.
Ese chico es un jugador de otro nivel. Me alegro que
Rodrigo.
Está empatado con Mbappé. Enseguida vemos más de Rodrigo, pero antes este
What?
Manchester City no es el de hace 2 años, absolutamente imparable, pero tampoco el del año pasado, ¿no?
We're talking about Man City, an improved side. Definitely looks like they've turned the page. Obviously, last year was a blip. I mean, in the long and very dominant spell, the reign of City, especially in the Premier League, has been phenomenal, admirable. And at the moment, City in 4th in the in the standings. Real Madrid 7, Atlético de Madrid 8th. I think we are like 16th or something at the moment. Let me check, actually.
Dialogando con el balón, pero se quedaba en diálogo, no era agresivo. Cuando Haaland mete su gol, el gol del penalti, había tocado 3 balones.
So right now, Arsenal lead the standings. Bayern are 2nd, QSG 3rd, Man City 4th, Atalanta 5th, Inter 6th, Real Madrid 7th, Atlético de Madrid 8th, Liverpool 9th, Dortmund 10th, Tottenham, Newcastle, Chelsea, Sporting, and let's see, we're not 16th, we're 15th. Now, winning our next 2 games will give us, of course, 16 points, and that could potentially land us a spot in the top 8, given that QSG are on, or even Bayern are on 15. So imagine everyone loses and we win. That's obviously not going to happen, but we could still qualify in the top 8, winning our 2 games. And I think we could also not qualify, because if Atlético de Madrid, Liverpool win theirs, who now make the cutoff, so that is 18 points. Yeah, that would, or even Dortmund, you know. We would not necessarily qualify if my quick maths is correct. And for all the shitting that we got from Chelsea, they're 13th with 10 points. We're actually tied on points with the Chelsea. Up the Chelsea. I mean, I hear they're going over the standings now. Let's listen. Talking about Barça needing all 6 to make a fight and a run.
Mucho más difícil, por no decir virtualmente eliminado, prácticamente imposible, lo tiene Susana, el Villarreal, que es penúltimo.
Villarreal,
Se agarra, ¿verdad? Esa clasificación,
second to last,
mejores 24
so pretty much out,
de Europa.
like virtually
Es el Athletic Club. Ojo lo que cantaba
already
Sánchez
out.
durante su partido contra todo un PSG.
This is Sama Miss. What are they saying? A por ellos.
De un partido grande de Champions contra
Bueno, ¿y qué?
un rival
¿Qué van a decir?
que sacar algún punto porque si no la cosa se ponía muy complicada a falta de
Bueno,
dos
no
jornadas.
entiendo.
Todo ha sido gracias a este hombre, a Unai
Anyway, let me get back to some of your questions here. And slowly but surely, it seems like Xabi Alonso is not taken to the hot seat right now. But also, I think the general consensus is indeed that he will be around for the weekend against Alaves. It would be very harsh to see him go this time around. It ain't gonna happen. Anyway, let me get to your questions. As some of you, more of you have joined the stream. So far, though, the poll, Xabi, will he get the sack before Christmas? 77% of you think yes. 23 no, as Lucho is on the mic for Movistar. But I'm going to get to your questions instead. So, Ankur, who gets sacrificed? All right, take care. What's up, buddy? I'm still here. Culé saying, Xavi, please stay. Madridistas trust the process. Yeah. Hell yeah, it does kind of feel like that, huh? Look, I want him, and again, I don't wish the man any harm. I don't wish him any ill. For some reason, he was kind of like one of those dudes, one of those players that I had a respect for, to a certain degree. In the Clásicos, he was, I felt, quite dirty with the Messis, even tried to, come across and play off being the nice guy and all that. But he wasn't a Pepe or a Sergio Ramos. I think we can somewhat agree on that. But he did definitely do Messi dirty on a few occasions. But, he was of the Madridista squad one that I didn't have the biggest beef with. So I feel like, and again, I'm trying to put away my colors here, that the general fan base of the Whites are being a bit harsh. And that is mainly why tonight also, I don't think he deserves the sack. I think it's preemptive. I think it is not a night para un despido. No es la noche. It's not the night for a despido. And I'm sure that Florentino's got his hand on the pulse of what the press also is saying. Here we're seeing Marca. And we have a look at us. And what also we heard the fans outside of the Bernabeu, most of them blaming the players for the bad results. Not so much pointing the finger at Xavi. One or two did. As really nothing, no tengo nada que reprochar. I have nothing to say bad against my team. Xabi Alonso saying the main headline here about Rodrigo and his abrazo. Again, they love they cling on to these moments of affection so much. Anything that they can hold on to and grasp onto, gonna be like, oh. Rudiger hizo penalti y se le perdonó la roja. That's true. He should have gotten it right. Absolutely. Here we go. Now we're listening to El Mister in the hot seat.
Muy disputado, ha tenido diferentes momentos, ¿no? Y hemos empezado muy bien con el gol de Rodri, con alguna otra ocasión, haciendo lo que queríamos. Y cuando estás en un momento que no estás en tu mejor momento anímico, cuando sabes que por donde estamos, pues en 10 minutos se nos han puesto por delante con muy poquito, con el córner y con el penalti, pero el equipo lo ha seguido intentando, no ha perdido la cara al partido en ningún momento. En la segunda parte, hasta el final lo hemos intentado con todas las dificultades con las que estamos conviviendo, tema de lesiones, jugadores que están dando pues hasta el último aliento.
We have a lot of injuries, yet our players still give their all until the very end.
Conviviendo, tema de día a día con las lesiones, jugadores que están dando pues hasta el último aliento, y por eso pues hoy no tengo nada que reprochar. Agradezco mucho la actitud.
against
día a
my
día
players.
con
I
los,
appreciate
con
their
los
attitude.
jugadores y hay que seguir. Esto
We need to
es la
continue.
Champions, evidentemente queríamos.
This is the
De momento,
Champions.
por los resultados en este noviembre y diciembre, pues no es lo bueno que queremos. Somos críticos, somos autoexigentes,
This is not
entendemos
where
a
we
la
want to
gente,
be in November,
pero tenemos que seguir
December.
trabajando,
We're
tenemos que
critical,
seguir creyendo
self-critical,
que pasará,
and demand the
que
best.
todo pasa y estoy convencido de
I'm
que
convinced that this
podemos hacerlo.
too shall pass.
Hola, Xabi.
And there's better times to come, etc.,
Hoy
etc.
has visto que, o has dicho, ¿no?, que te ha gustado el equipo lo ha dado todo a pesar de las
You
bajas,
say
como tú decías.
you
No sé si
liked
tienes
your
la
team's
sensación
performance
de
today,
que
despite the
el equipo rinde
players
mejor
missing.
cuando se enfrenta a este tipo de partidos, en cuanto a intensidad, en cuanto a actitud, en un
Do
partido
you
de
think
Champions contra el Manchester City, pero
your
que
team
le falta
plays
algo,
better in
por
these
ejemplo, como el
situations
partido el otro día
against
contra
big
el Celta,
opponents?
o el que pueda venir el domingo contra el Alavés. ¿Cómo puedes cambiar esa situación?
How can you change the situation?
El ser más constantes en el rendimiento,
What's up, Romeo? Always good to see Pep spanking Madrid. Thank you for your donation, my man. Absolutely, it is good. The most winningest coach, the most winning coach, winningest coach in the history against Real Madrid. 24 battles Pep Guardiola has played. He has won 14 of them, drawn 7 and lost 7. Absolutely delicious. That narrative of Pep losing at the Bernabeu ain't nothing but some BS, son. Ain't nothing but some B to the S. And thank you so much for your donation. Hey, everybody that is on here, we are growing. This community is growing, and I want to thank you. If you're new, subscribe, hit the bell notification, and yes, definitely support independent content. We are growing.
Sí, algo más destacado Xabi Alonso lo escucharemos aquí. Todo pasa, dice el entrenador del Real Madrid, pero qué difícil sentarse en esa silla. Tiene que ser también.
Yeah, he ain't getting the sack tonight, man. They're also saying tough questions. It's so difficult to be Madrid coach. You know, I was reading, and I didn't finish it. I was reading a interview with Peja Mijatovic, where he was like, Madrid is the only club in the world where you have to win all the time, and you have to do so by playing well. The forms matter. And I was like, wait, hold on a second. That is the complete opposite of the truth. Barça, if anything, is one team where you have to win and play beautiful football. He completely took that saying, that idea, and applied that to his whites, making them to be the only team supposedly where you have to win consistently and also play good football. And in fact, if anything you can say, and what I'm envious about in a certain way of Real Madrid, is that they don't have that pressure. That's when people talk about how being the Madrid coach is the most difficult job in the world. I firmly and vehemently disagree, because vehemently, am I saying that right? Because adamantly disagree, because in Barça you just can't just win. Ancelotti was playing crap football and everybody was loving the man, and he stayed on for a long time. You know what I mean? Zizou, and obviously yes, he won Champions League, so did Zizou, but that's not enough. That is not enough. In Barça, you will have the audience against you if you don't play a type of football where you're completely and utterly dominating your opponents and playing convincing, beautiful football. I'm just looking at the highlights here. Rodrigo in the 28th, near in the half-hour mark, scoring that lovely right-footed goal. Great first touch, second touch, and then dang, slots it past Donnarumma. Just a very, very good goal. Tough angle. And Donna, not much he could have done there. And Xabi thought it was going to be a beautiful night, as did Vinny, giving his paisan some love, thanking JB, and trying to poke him in the eye as him, Rodrigo, and Xabi Alonso had that locked arms, looked deep into each other's eyes, and said, "You're going to get the sack tonight, aren't you, if we lose?" Because then, minutes later, it was City that managed to level the score. Bernardo Silva. Was it Bernardo's? No, it wasn't. It was O'Reilly, of course. My God. Doku. What an absolute menace, man. He really, like, came to life in that second half. It was unbelievable. And in the end of that first half, I knew as soon as I saw Rudiger rugby tackle Haaland that was going to be a penalty. And I was very happy that it was called back and studied. Thank God for technology in football. Don't let him get away with it. Haaland put it back into the net. Courtois beat him for a second time. And it could have been a lot more. I mean, Madridistas, you must be singing Courtois' praises. He has a plaque outside of the Metropolitano. He deserves a statue outside of the Bernabeu, in my opinion. Doku feeding that nicely to O'Reilly. And then that chance. Here's that double save. Haaland. And then Silva, I think it is, huh? Boom. Nice first. I mean, that second save is amazing. I think it was... ¿Quién era? Cherki. It was Cherki. Haaland putting it right down the middle, though, but it was just great, 2 saves. Then Jude Bellingham shitting the bed. He tried to be Pedri. Tried to be swift and nice with it. Tried to be sweet with it. Chipping it. But JB, JB Wiki, he just ain't got it at the moment. And he put it over the crossbar. Then Rodrigo being lively on the left. And that's when Tchouaméni had that chance. I think it was Chuchu, right? Was it Vinny with the header? Oh my God. It was. I mean, there's no way that Vinny, the goal kick or the corner kick that goes to the far post, Vinny got a touch to it, but that was never going to end up in the back of the net. It went way behind him. He has to turn his... And Donnarumma got a touch to it as well, but he has to turn, put his foot out. Savinho getting manhandled by Rudiger. That was outside of the box. That wasn't a pen. Yeah, he should have gotten the red on that occasion. That's true. Oh, this is the Tchouaméni one. No, it's Hendrik. Hendrik's header. Hendrik hitting the crossbar. Let's have a listen to the final words of Pep, and then I'm going to say 99, folks.
Sí, era penalti muy claro.
Penalti claro. Of course.
Si el de ayer del Liverpool-Inter fue penalti, el de este también lo es.
Ah. ¿Cuál?
Creo que aquí estamos todos de acuerdo, pero vamos a abrir el bar de Mateu. Buenas noches.
Ayer fue bastante ridículo, ¿no? El ayer a favor del Liverpool. Uf.
Sí, ya lo comentamos ayer. Noche dura para irse a dormir después de ver ese tipo de acciones, porque por mucho que aparezca el VAR, ponga la cámara lenta, ralentice 5, aún así tampoco da sensación de penalti.
No.
What?
Pero en este caso Turpin no se equivoca, ¿no? En esa acción de Rudiger con Haaland juega con fuego y se quema.
Asume un riesgo. Fíjate que Rudiger ha estado intentando en el 1-1. Ha sido él el que ha abrazado a Rubén Díaz.
Count on Mateo de la Hoz to try to talk this right.
Jugada, como bien dice Fernando, ya había ganado la posición Erling Haaland y es Rudiger el que no tiene otra forma de frenarle, pero aún así había pasado camuflado, el árbitro no lo había visto. Cuando el VAR fiscaliza, te da la toma que te da. Incluso había una mejor detrás de la portería que aún era más clara, como
two hands on him at all time.
Penal.
And then drags him down by his waist.
Después de esta otra acción, que también ha sido Ricardo Sierra el que le ha preguntado a Asensio, que esa misma es una jugada muy parecida, sí que es verdad que
Rudiger's always doing this, man. The guy never receives the repercussions, feels the consequences of his actions. He did tonight, and it felt good.
Esta no tenemos ninguna duda.
No doubt. Ah, okay.
Y en esta Asensio se hace muy fuerte abajo.
Yeah, Asensio, this one that they were talking about before.
Guardiola al final acaba cogiéndole.
Guardiola,
¿Qué diferencia
they're all tackling him.
Esta con la otra?
They're all holding each other.
Pero sobre todo que no está el balón. Y eso para
The ball's not in play.
En el momento que el VAR
I accept that.
Como decía la cámara lenta, nos vamos a ralentizar. Si
I
en la
accept
foto no
that.
aparece el balón en disputa entre ellos, es muy difícil que
Interpretan que no llegaría a la pelota.
No, y
So he wouldn't have gotten to the ball.
en directo, ¿no?
Es lo que le intentan priorizar, que la decisión sea del árbitro de campo, que es el que al final tiene que ver todos este tipo de porfías, porque al final, si ponemos en el balance, hemos visto estas dos acciones, ha habido 4, es decir, Álvaro Carreras porfiando con Bernardo, recupera el balón, acaba en un golazo de Rodrigo, luego ha habido la del gol, el 1-1, donde Rüdiger es el que casi engaña al árbitro, porque de hecho lo pedían, que es el que echa al suelo, aquí lo vemos, a Rubén Díaz, no es al revés, sino que es Rüdiger el que se lo echa encima, acaba el penal, que ese es el más claro a nivel de VAR, y el de Asensio. Si el árbitro lo hubiese visto, podría haberlo pitado.
When Rudiger
Mi argumento,
hits the deck,
piensa la UEFA respecto al criterio de VAR, es
I mean,
no
you see the different intentions, and you see clearly as well which ones are and which ones are not. This was in the
Mejor que ayer.
Mucho mejor que ayer.
build up of the equalizer where Rodrigo just goes down, flopping for no reason. I'm trying to fool the referee. Good refereeing today. Bueno, I'm done. Xabi Alonso will stick around for a little while longer. He will play this game or he will coach rather the Whites for the game against Alaves. Then it's Copa del Rey, and then it's Sevilla. Thank you guys for your votes. 15 votes. Xabi getting the sack before Christmas is 80% of you say yes, 20% of you say no. I think it will depend on the results. Do I think right now, going out on a limb, that he will lose against Alaves, lose the Copa del Rey, and lose against Sevilla? I think they will get a win, an ugly one at that, against a sturdy, tough Alaves side. They showed against Barça again that they are a tough nut to crack, and they can do so at home or away. But I think I have to imagine Madrid will be able to pick up a win. I have to imagine, even though there's now 2 consecutive losses, and at least the attitude has improved. And again, I have to think that they will be able to get a win away against Alaves. Then is the Copa del Rey. For sure, that's a W. A bit more breathing space before Sevilla rolls around. And you don't know where you're going to get from Sevilla this season. They're capable of the best and the worst against, like I said, or like we saw against Barça. If that is a loss in the Bernabeu, and a tough one at that, a big one, then I think it'll be the end for Xabi Alonso, and we will see another manager, namely Arbeloa, in the White dugout for the game against Betis on January the 4th. That is my thoughts, my opinion. We will see as soon as tomorrow. Join us, of course, on Churros. We will be recording on Friday, as Kian will be flying back tomorrow. And again, I hope you appreciated or enjoyed and appreciated this live stream. I'm getting back to my better self. You can sense that the cold is still somewhat lingering, but hey, at least the fever is not, and I've got the energy here to hang out with y'all. So I appreciate it. Thank you so much for joining. I hope you Madridistas enjoyed it. Of course, I know you culés did as well, but consider this a safe space. Anybody is welcome, as long as you respect. Have some respect. All right, y'all. Have a good one. Enjoy the evening. Visca el Barça. Let's hope we can crack the top 8. And thank you again for joining. Romeos, and thank yous, my friend, for the donation, of course. Much appreciated. Much, much, much appreciated. Love you. Gonna leave you. We'll catch you on the flip side. Catch you for the next one. Keep supporting. Keep growing this channel. We are growing. Over 3,000 of us now. I'm so happy. So excited with the growth and excited for things to come. By the way, drop your comments for the Gaze stories. All right, story time with Gaze is a quite special little project that I'm working on, because I want to continue to feed you guys with content that is not just reactions, analysis, or shit talking about Madrid and Barça and Madrid, but I want to continue to feed you that creative little special sauce that I like to cook up on his channel. So, yeah, check it out. Storytime with Geese. It's about the original Ronaldo and his time at Barça. A story that I guarantee you do not know, and a story that will raise your eyebrows, and a story that has gone viral. But drop your comments in the comment section and let me know if you want more, all right? Peace out, good people. Hoy no es noche de despido. Xabi Alonso lives to fight another day. Until next time. For how much longer?